The timing, and what better timing for this film to come out and be released?
The timing of this film is incredibly bittersweet. It's very painful. Like millions of people around the world, we are all watching in horror as these images of this catastrophic war proliferate from Ukraine. And I think what these war crimes and what this horrible situation really embodies is what Alexei has been warning the world about this president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, for the last 10 years, even longer than that. This is a regime that is predicated on corruption and murder, and it's a mafia state. And I'm just glad people will have the opportunity to see our film and to remember that Putin is not Russia, and Russia is not Putin.
And tell me about your father. What is his motivation?
My father is an extremely honest man, which I admire very much. He is very lively, he is very honest, and I think that's what shines through the most in the movie. That his interactions with Daniel, the director, with me, with my mom, with my brother, how he is in his YouTube videos, it all shines through. And overall, he's an extremely great human being. If anything, I'm just very proud to be his daughter.
And there are not many people like him, obviously, but what he's doing is important. What is going to happen to him eventually?
Who knows? I'm not. I can't predict the near future, but I hope that this movie will help release him from prison.
Tell me about your involvement in this movie.
I am from Russia. I work with Alexei Navalny for 11 years now. I'm his chief investigator at the Anti-Corruption Foundation, an NGO that Navalny established.
Now, are you still based in Russia?
No, we're no longer based in Russia. We were pushed out of the country for different reasons. The Anti-Corruption Foundation has been designated a status of terrorist organization, so we are on the same list with Al-Qaeda and ISIS, so it's not the best idea to live in Russia now.
Well, congratulations. You must be doing a good job.
Very much.
Tell me a little bit about how this movie progresses. What are you actually doing in the movie?
The movie starts with a background of Navalny's political engagement with the Russian people, about showing him out in the fields in Russia, doing his rallies and telling people about corruption at the top, and then it cuts to the events in 2020 when he was at one of his campaign trips. He was poisoned and fell into a coma. And then it regresses into actually us, our team at Bellingcat, investigating his poisoning. And it shows from beginning to end the actual process of how we found out his poisoners. But then the crucial moment in this film that I don't think has ever happened in another film before is how we invite Alexei Navalny to call one of his poisoners on the phone and prank that poisoner into believing that he's talking to a superior at the Russian security services. This call is the most amazing thing I've ever experienced in my life, and I'm sure that it's one of the most incredible things on film, because over 53 minutes this poisoner actually confesses to everything, and he talks about Navalny in the third person without realizing he's talking to him.
What's your professional take on bringing Putin to war crime charges?
I think Putin will most certainly be brought to some form of trial, a tribunal of some sort. I'm not sure whether he's going to make it, whether he will be alive, or whether it will be a post-mortem sentence. But I don't see any way for him to avoid it now, given the crimes that he committed in Ukraine that clearly qualify as genocide, crimes against humanity, etc., etc. I think that the punishment is unavoidable.
It brings to mind a guy named Bonhoeffer, who was a theologian in the 1930s, and he insisted on going to face Hitler and criticize him openly. And he got hung just before the war was over. I mean, this guy kind of reminds me of that. Tell me what you know of his personality.
Well, what I can say is that Alexei's spirit is ironclad. His character is strong, his resolve is infinite, and I believe that what we have here is a life sentence. It's just a question if it's Alexei Navalny's life or Vladimir Putin's life. Alexei is a young man, time is on his side, and it is my hope that one day he will get to compete in a free and fair election where the Russian people can determine their own future.